Things in Grand Theft Auto 5 have gotten extremely expensive, but what is the most expensive vehicle? What about the most expensive building? And how do they compare to the most expensive things in all of GTA 5 and GTA 5 Online? Well, OG players will remember the days when the most expensive things in the game were the Adder at 1 million and the Titan at 2 million, which seemed expensive at the time. The most expensive weapon was the minigun at a measly $47,000, petty change in today's market. And having the most expensive apartment at Eclipse Towers was a sign of wealth, but it only costs $1.1 million. However, that is surprisingly still the most expensive home a player can own, even to this day, as even the most expensive stilt house is only $800,000. But when garages are taken into account, the new 50-car garage that was added last year takes home the cake for $2.74 million. The real expenses come in when we start talking about vehicles. No longer is the most expensive vehicle the Adder at $1 million. As a matter of fact, over 300 vehicles in the game are now more expensive than $1 million. They include ridiculously overpriced vehicles such as the RC Bandito, the fire truck, and even the Park Ranger SUV. But how expensive do vehicles actually get? Well, the 15th most expensive vehicle in the game is the Police Riot Van for $4.8 million, a 2013 vehicle that was added for purchase in 2023. For $5.15 million is the Swift Deluxe. Not to be confused with the Luxor Deluxe, this is the golden lined helicopter added in 2015, which is outrageous considering the regular helicopter only costs $1.6 million. Many people have already forgotten that in April of 2023, 16 vehicles received major increase or decreases in their prices. And for this list, I thought it would be fun to take into account both the before and after prices. And though today it only costs $4.1 million, the Tula used to cost $5.17 million. And to be brutally honest, both of these prices are just too high. The change was needed, but it wasn't enough. Just added earlier this year was the Gauntlet Interceptor, which without trade prices costs $5.4 million. And many people consider this to be one of the most expensive vehicles. And although it might be in recent years, it's only 12th overall. The Ruiner 2000 was also affected by the market changes last year, which lowered its price by almost $2 million, making its original price $5.74 million. The Deluxo was one vehicle to see an increase in price during that time, and now costs $5.75 million compared to its old $4.7 million price tag. That's a big increase. One other vehicle that saw a discount last year was the Bumbushka, which used to cost an absurd $5.9 million. Now, although you could technically count this as a property because you can't actually drive it, the Orion yacht is still a boat and could be considered a vehicle as well, and it costs $6 million, which tells you that the other yachts are still to come. Now, everyone remembers the old days jumping the fence in a Fort Zancudo and stealing a laser. Well, lucky for you, as of 2017, you no longer need to do that. Instead, you can just buy one for $6.5 million. Or you could just buy the Raiju, which has way more features and is only a little bit more expensive at $6.85 million. In fifth is the Pisces yacht at $7 million, while fourth belongs to the Aquarius yacht for $1 million more at $8 million. Taking home the bronze is the Oppressor Mark II, which prior to April 2023 only cost $3.89 million. But after the market adjusted, it doubled in value to $8 million. But the previously mentioned Luxor Deluxe costs $10 million, which again is crazy considering the regular plane can be found at the airport for free or bought for $1.6 million. And the Luxor Deluxe might be the most expensive vehicle in online, but in story mode, the Z-Type costs $10 million as well. And this is because supposedly there's only 10 in existence according to that one mission, which is weird because you can buy more than 10 of them. There is one more factor we need to consider when talking about vehicles, and that's the prerequisites that are required to purchase said vehicle. Whether it be a property or specific storage location, this can really up the cost. The Ruiner 2000, as previously mentioned, cost $5.74 million before 2023, but it required a vehicle warehouse to store, the cheapest one being $1.5 million, and the warehouse required an office, the cheapest also being $1.5 million. Making the total $8.75 million. The Raiju requires a hangar to be bought, which will cost you at least $1.2 million. But if you want to customize it and get all of its features, you'll need to add the mod shop, which sets you back another $1.15 million. totaling up to $9.2 million, which is still cheaper than the Luxor Deluxe. The same can't be said for the Oppressor Mark II, which requires a terabyte to customize, and that requires a nightclub, meaning it would cost $10.95 million. How could things get more expensive? Well, I'm glad you asked. Personally, my editor Kyle is always trying to make things more expensive for me, saying things like, "I need a raise, I'm gonna quit, you're not my dad, I deserve better than this." Well, here's a message for you, Kyle. 3 $5 off coupons for Life cereal, a compliment every 2 to 3 business days, and access to my Disney Plus is a great weekly wage.
That's the stupidest combination I ever heard in my life!
Maybe I'll give you a promotion when you hit 1,000 subs, which will be a challenge because you don't post videos. How's that for a business deal? Speaking of businesses, in GTA 5, they can cost up to $4 million for something like a CEO office. But what if you wanted a fully customized business? Well, the yacht has $2 million worth of potential upgrades, making the total around $10 million for the Aquarius. Meanwhile, the arcade with every single gaming console, the master control terminal, the drone station, the living quarters, the garage, the vault door, and every other customization it can come with costs $12.57 million. The aforementioned office comes with 3 garages, a mod shop, living quarters, a gun locker, a safe, and a few more things, which adds up to a huge $13.5 million. I interrupt one more time with an expensive update, and while going through all this footage, I realized that bunker research is a huge barrier to entry for some vehicles. So if we take the most expensive gun running vehicle, the APC tank, and theoretically have to buy 51 research items at $225,000 each, including the MOC customization bay, the MOC itself, and the bunker costs, the most expensive vehicle with prerequisites, technically speaking, adds up to $19.1 million. But story mode once again prevails with the 10-cent theater and the Tivoli cinema businesses, which cost $20 and $30 million respectively. But just for gets and shiggles, let's find the most you can spend on one business in online, including all of the upgrades, the most expensive prerequisites, and surely it's gotta be more than story mode, right? To start, in order to have a maxed out crate business, you need to buy an office and 5 large warehouses, which, if taking into account the most expensive locations, customizations, and upgrade costs, adds up to $35 million. And it still isn't the most money you can spend on a single maxed out business. That crown belongs to the nightclub, which requires numerous other businesses to be active, including a bunker, 1 crate warehouse, which still needs an office, and one of each of the 5 biker businesses: Coca-Cola, the Blue Stuff, marijuana, Monopoly money, and fake IDs, ranking up a massive $39.3 million, making that the most expensive thing in GTA 5 Online. However, there is one more thing we need to consider, and that's the golf course. Now, it may only cost you $100 to play around, but as Michael, you can actually purchase the golf course. And many people forget that it costs $150 million, making it the most expensive thing in GTA 5. Now, if these prices are too expensive for your taste, check out this video where I cover some more budget-friendly options for your garage that many people have completely forgotten about.